Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So, I want to talk about Omega Shenron and GT bosses. So, Omega Shenron at this point, I think we could pretty confidently, easily, and obviously say that Omega Shenron is one of the best villain units of all time in Dokkan history. You could probably even make the case that he is the #1 villain of all time in Dokkan. Could you? Yeah, I mean, pretty easily, right? Like, I really do like Carnival Tech Broly. I mean, like in terms of, like, all-time villains, I remember STR Cooler was very good. Several times in history, Janembas have been very crazy, right? Like, what was it? It was, like, in Janemba's original EZ8, where I was just, like, floored by how unstoppable he was, right? Like, there have been legendary characters, but, I mean, Omega is kind of like so good, and they immediately gave him, like, if we just take a look at this, right? Like, look at this. So Omega comes out. I guess Sammy's already on page 2. So Omega drops, right? Yeah, it's perfect because Omega's the only one on here. So Omega drops, and then immediately, look at this. We get Nova, the Super Baby 2, who is pretty good, but you know his leader skill keeps him from being used in a lot of places. We get a super EZA. We get a great sub EZA, one of the best sub EZAs of all time, and one of the best free-to-play EZAs of all time. So, I mean, really, it does go to show what villains do need, though, right? Because actually, look at this. So we get Omega Shenron, who is maybe the best villain of all time. I think he's in the discussion easily. Then we get Nova. He's in the discussion for best free-to-play unit of all time. Legitimately, Nova is. And Sin is in discussion for best sub-EZA of all time. So all they needed to do to create a god-tier villain team is create the best unit of all time for villains, the best free-to-play unit of all time for villains, and the best sub-EZA of all time for villains. That's all it took, man. That's all it took. And, we're good to go. I mean, GT bosses, like, we could roll out with a GT bosses lineup that's actually, like, effective. Like, full GT bosses can kick ass. Right now, I mean, a huge asset on Omega's team is LR Rose, who is at full power on Omega's team and looks really good. He is very handy for Omega. But like when we're running the full GT bosses team, which would probably be like a Physical Omega, Nova, probably SCR Omega, Texan, Legion, a Shadow Dragon, and then Carnival Omega. The problem is that we have 4 Omega Shenron character. Well, actually, wait, did I miscount? No, yeah, that would be it. The problem is that we'd have 4 Omega Shenron characters. So it's like they obviously wouldn't be able to link up next to each other, right? That's why, like, the same name linking update would drop, and the GT bosses team would get way better. It actually would. It would jump up a lot if a lot of these Omega Shenrons could link together. I think that would really be a great update for the game. At this point, I just don't really see, like, what is an argument against the same name linking update? There's none. Like, the same name, and here's my argument for the same name linking update. It would be more fun. Boom, I win. I got it. It would be more fun. So guess what we care about? Yeah, that would be that. Now GT bosses still has stuff they could do. Keep in mind, Dokkan really needs to create the GT category. To me, especially with the way leader skills are structured, exactly like this, right? Like, we could very easily have GT be like one of his main leaders, and then GT bosses could be like right there, right? It's very obvious to me that the GT category needs to be something that's created, especially because, like, the GT bosses category, like, they would make it envisioning the villains of GT, but they fail to do that when characters like him, and the one in particular I'm looking for is them, right? Like, these characters are not on GT bosses. This is actually asinine, by the way, that Hellfighter 17 is not a GT boss, because Hellfighter 17 is the one in control of Super 17. Like, once they fuse, this is the dominant personality until the very end when Android 18 kind of, like, gets through to them, right? Like, this is the dominant personality. So I don't understand. I've never understood why this character is not on GT bosses. And then obviously, they dropped this unit, which, could be like a nice help. I mean, this is one of the big things I look for in banner units is are they supporting? This character was, but remember, they're not a GT bosses unit. So, I mean, I would like to see the villains of GT kind of get a little bit more here. And I think that there is still quite a couple of things. One of the main things I would like to see is actually Rildo. I would like to see Rildo get some love. There, who am I looking for? Liquid Metal Rildo? Where is he? Huh? Oh, here he is, Metal Rildo. And then I want to grab this guy's SR right here, which is just regular Rildo. So regular General Rildo right here. I think that this could be a Dokkan Fest. Now, this is one of these like non-hype Dokkan Fests, but like is General Rildo, like, I mean, truthfully, he is below, Raditz. Like, would I put Rildo above, like, Rildo probably goes above Videl. I don't know. I mean, Videl would certainly have more fans than Rildo, though, right? Who can I get Rildo stands out there? Where are they at? Like, who are the Rildo stands? So, like, yeah, Rildo would be very, very low in terms of like kind of like the hype scale, but I think that he could, kind of work well, because we would have these are his 3 forms essentially, right? 3 different forms with this guy, and this guy. Look at this. Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, Metamorphosis, Nightmare, Fear and Faith. Are you kidding me? This guy, his link set is crazy. This is a very good link set. And remember, that's one of the biggest things with villains, is villains, those links are so huge, especially the best link in the game. So, I mean, I could see them dropping this guy. Damn, he really has almost nothing, though, huh? Just Artificial Lifeform, GT Bosses, Mission Execution, Terrifying Conquers. I maintain forever, Mission Execution was a great idea for a category by Dokkan. I think creating, this is, again, think of it essentially as kind of like the minion category. Such a W that Dokkan did that. Because that really, a lot of characters like this guy, it really does help him. Dabura, right? Dabura is another character. I do think a Dokkan Fest for him could be very good. Now, they could, I wonder if it was like a Rildo and like he transformed multiple times, would he get transformation boost? I would think so, but sometimes they can be a little bit funny with that. But I think that this guy could be like a pretty cool Dokkan Fest that we could get, a character that could help out. And I mean, I'm going to continue to push that they need to drop the GT category, right? The GT category. And I do think they need to drop I hate kind of the idea of, saying Z bosses, but that is what they would do. We have movie heroes and movie bosses, right? We have GT heroes and GT bosses. We have superhero and super bosses. So it's like a Z hero and Z bosses. That's a category we've, talked about a lot. I remember, especially leading into the 10th anniversary, I remember a lot of us really thought there was a really good chance that we could finally get the Z hero and the Z bosses categories, but they didn't quite come to fruition. Hopefully they still would, but they dropped the GT category. I mean, maybe it would be a little bit funny to just, Dokkan Fest Rildo introduces the GT category, but it would be such a W, right? To be able to take, where is it? It's right here. To be able to take, no, wait, I had the GT category. Where is it? Here it is. It would be such a W to take this right here and make this a category. It would be pretty good, right? And especially with everything we got during the end of the like, look how many characters we got during the end of the GDC, right? We get another celebration. We get, maybe like Dokkan Fest Rildo, or like, Hellfighter 17 himself probably could be like a Dokkan Fest. I do think, there's still a lot of stuff from GT they should do. This guy, I think, could be like a nice LR or something. Like we could definitely get an LR for this guy. I know they did kind of like use this for the 8th anniversary unit, the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. But at this point, we have seen Dokkan, kind of like reuse stuff a lot, right? Like take, parts of a character and then end up like using him in, sort of like different like versions of characters, right? Think about physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku does kind of like that Kamehameha. that Super Saiyan 3 Goku does against Kid Buu, but then they also reuse that for the 8th anniversary LR too. So this could still be like a standalone LR, the Goku that takes down Super 17, and then I am still patiently waiting for the redo of this guy right here, the Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku from the Shadow Dragon arc. I know we got the Int LR Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but that is, you know, from the fight against Baby. Remember, this guy is the one that does the Dragon Fist. This is one of the things, I mean, almost assuredly, this will be like a Dokkan Fest or Carnival LR, right? Like, there's no way. This is gonna drop. People are gonna go crazy for this. Like, this is gonna really get people excited when, like, oh, this is the guy that's, you know, about to drop. People are gonna be excited for him, you know. Like, there's still a lot of things they could do with GT. I just want to keep pushing for the idea of a GT category, and I do feel like they could really up villains of GT to be a lot better too, right? So, I mean, we've gotten this far in the video without talking about the fact that this guy also doesn't have his Dokkan Fest. He needs one. I do think they could do like an actual good version of this, by the way. This could be an LR, like a yellow coin LR, Ice and Nova Shenron. I think could be very good and also could be very fun. So I would like to see that. There is also... Oh, damn, there's one other thing I was just about to grab, but I forgot what it was. It just slipped my mind. No, what was it? Damn, I lost it. But, like, Baby could have multiple Dokkan Fests. Rildo could get one. Like, GT selling freeze. I know we did just get their free-to-play LR, but, you know, I'm a little kind of iffy on their free-to-play LR. Remember that the Shadow Dragons, they could, you know, just all get kind of like standalone units too. Like, not, you know, these crappy SRs. Oh, it was Ice. I was going to talk about how the only Ice Shenron we have in-game is just, this is a free-to-play character. All he is just an SSR that this guy released with the original release of STR Omega Shenron is when this guy originally came out, right? I think that they could... Crazy, he's only on Shadow Dragon Saga and GT bosses. That's crazy. But, like, he could be, like, a good ban unit. Like they should do something with a lot of the Shadow Dragons. There's still quite a bit for them to pull from GT, and I would like to see them do that. I mean, another thing they potentially could even do is, you know, Goku Jr. getting a Dokkan Fest, to me, would make a ton of sense. Because, I mean, he does essentially have, like, his own kind of, like, movie, right? Goku Jr. I think that this could be a fun little Dokkan Fest for us to get, right? So, we'll see what's going to happen. There's still a lot to come from GT, but really I would like to see, you know, Rildo and Baby and some of these characters, you know, like, get a little bit of buffs. I think right now, while we have, you know, maybe the best villain in Dokkan history, I would like the idea of continuing to build around him. Continuing to give this guy just more and more and more help. Like, fuck it, man. Like, just really push the limits of making this the best villain team ever. Like, that's one thing is, too, a lot of these villains, like, all these Brolys, they're on, like, Omega Shenron's team. The Golden Freezes are on Omega Shenron's team, right? So we keep getting more and more buffs, more ways to run the team, which is just really, really good. So, let me know what you guys think, but I would like to see some more GT bosses help drop, and then, of course, you know, pushing towards us getting that overall GT category, which would just allow some other characters to be used in a bit more of a meaningful way, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.